Morning, a good Woch, almost a good yo. Mountain of Dalid on the base, Masechet Beitza, and the words Itma. 3 lines before the wide lines on the Dalid on the base. Look the Gemara. Itma. Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golios. The minhag, as Rashi says, Shnei Yomim Tovim Shel Golios. Sagt Rashi, she'ein oisin oisai elo b'nei Golios. הרחוקים מבית דין, ואין השלוחים יכולים להגיע אצלו מראש חודש עד יום טוב, לא יודעים באיזה יום נקבע החודש, אם ביום 30, אם ביום 31, ואויסין בייס יום טוב מסופק. ומידוי רייסה ביום הראשון שבוסוין, ביום השביעי שבוסוין וסולוין. So what Rashi comes and says over here, that there's a minhag b'nei Golios to do 2 days of Yom Tov. Why? Because they don't know if Bezdin will me'aber the Chodesh and Eretz Yisrael or not, and it takes the shluchim, it takes them the time to come to announce them, it takes them time, and that's why we suffer. We don't know. We do both days, and that's what we saw over here in Rashi. The Rambam comes and says in Kiddush HaChodesh and Perek Hey Halachah Tes that also in Eretz Yisrael there was places that if the shluchim did not come there, they would do Yom Tov Sheni, and the times they were Mekadesh Lefi Ariyah. But the Beitza, what we're talking about over here, it's not going to be also on that days. Why? Because he didn't do the Gezeire to do Shnei Yomim Tovim only Bizman that Bezdin were in Eretz Yisrael and they were far from Bezdin, but because they could come and be Mekadesh everywhere in Eretz Yisrael, could be that they would have come and do only 1 day. The Kedusha of the second day is only a suffix. We don't answer the Beitza in that day, and that's why Rashi comes and says over here, Davke Sha'asum B'nei Hagoyla. That's what the Rashash, the Medayek, the Chazanish, that's why Rashi says about B'nei Hagoyla. So now we're talking about the Beitza Shanol of Yom Tov. Which day of Yom Tov? The first day, the second day. So we have 2 days of Yom Tov. Rav Omar Noildo Bezeh, Muteres Bezeh. It was born laid the egg when in the first day of Yom Tov, so it's going to be mutar the second day of Yom Tov. Why? Because Rav says Mimon of Shach. One of the 2 days is a weekday. And if the first day is Kodesh, no. So the next day is the day after Yom Tov, it's mutar. If the second day is Kodesh, no. Kumtoi that the egg was when it was Noilad, this egg, on Erev Yom Tov. So that's going to be Ravasi Yomar, Noildo Bezeh, Asura Bezeh. What's the machloikes? Look the Gemara. Leime Kosova Ravasi. Ravasi u aser, as we said now, 2 Yom Tovim of Golios, lichoira, because he said it's Kedusha Achasi. And the Chachomim came and said that both days are 1 Kedusha, and both of them are 1 Kedusha, bevadai. No. So even though we're going to learn later on that the Kiddush HaChodesh was actually in 30 or 31, but we came and decided, the Bezdin decided that this is a Kedusha vadai, and therefore, it doesn't matter what is the real thing, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Says the Gemara, that can't be true. Why not? V'oravasi mavdil miyoyme tove lechavrei. That means that's right. We're talking about the Veda Avdole. Boruch hamavdil ben kodesh lechoil. Yeah, you would come and say Boruch hamavdil ben kodesh lechoil. That's what Rashi comes and says. V'oravasi mavdil umevoruch hamavdil ben kodesh lechoil. The kosovar kimlei bekviye deyarche v'yom tov sheni choil gomoru mishum minag avoyiseinu. Rashi comes and says, this he would come and say, Amavdi bekodesh lechoil. Why? Because the second day was like choil, because for sure he was baki bekviyas amoilad. He knew when is exactly Rosh Chodesh. So he knew exactly when is Rosh Chodesh. So he didn't need to come and to say, but the Shita Beitza says that Rashi only started the beginning of the bracha. It's not the end of the bracha. Why? Because the end of the bracha would for sure say ben kodesh le kodesh or ben kodesh chomur le kodesh kal or right stam ben kodesh le kodesh. Why not to be mezalzel and Yom Tov Sheni, as we know? And as we know, the Rashba says that we don't do avdole from 1 Yom Tov to the other Yom Tov. Why not? We are beki in be kviyah yache. Now Rashi comes and says Ravasi for sure made avdole ben kodesh lechoil fi Rashi. Yeah, so we can explain that they shtim kubetza that start at the beginning of the bracha. Beginning of the bracha, you say ben kodesh lechoil. Then the bracha you say ben kodesh lechoil. But he made avdole. He done avdole. What Rashi says, he still kept 2 Yom Tovim. Why? Because minag have we say no biyadenu. Mamash like zay vi uns. right? Like we today we keep 2 Yom Tovim, even though we are Bekiya Bekviya de Yache. Why do we do 2 days? So the Rashba, why don't we do today Avdoleh? You see that even though Ravasi, who came and he done 2 days Yom Tov, because why? The same reason what we do Kiyah de Yache, he done 2 days Yom Tov, we should do also. Says the Rashba, we do not come and do the Avdoleh. Why not? He says not to be mezalzel in Yom Tov Sheni. In order not to be mezalzel in Yom Tov Sheni, we do not come and do over there. Ravasi, what's a Ravasi? Ravasi says he was not chayish lezilzule. He was not chayish lezilzule, but he doesn't explain why. But just the thing, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, there's many other Rishonim. For example, the Rao says that there's no Avdoleh. When do we do Avdoleh? Only from Shabbos to Yom Tov. Avdoleh, what is Avdoleh? Avdoleh is to come tell you till now there was also, and now it's Gemuta. So Shabbos, there was Melochos that were also. Now to Yom Tov, so we do over there Avdoleh to come to show there was a Kedusha Chamura, right? There was a certain Isur and certain Melochos. And now, but 2 Yom Tovim, Felgolios, are the same dinim. The same dinim. Just what? There's different chumras. The first one is the Iraisa, the second one is the Rabbonon. Right? On this we don't make Avdoleh. The difference in Isurei Meloche and das macht dann ja Avdoleh. That as I said the Rao. But yeah, there's I think we mentioned, if you remember, we mentioned in Arvi Psochim we learned the Ramah. The Ramah, the Yad Ramah. One of the Rishonim, he has a Yigeres. We mentioned it in Arvi Psochim. And then the Yigeres, he brings that when we come and do Yom Tov Sheni, Motzi Yom Tov Sheni, I mean, Avdoleh, it's Oile L'Shneim. Tells us both. Because he didn't do a Meloche the whole second day. We learned over there till when you could do Avdoleh. But yeah, but if you didn't do Meloche till you didn't do Meloche, you can come and do it the next day. So he says the second day of Yom Tov, so this is Oile Lekanu Lekan. It could help you for both the Avdoleh of the second day. As I talk the Yad Ramah. Okay. Okay. Again, that's we going back to what's the Isur of Meloche before Avdoleh, yeah? That's the Briskarov. The Briskarov in the Shabbos, I think, Chov Dalet, I think. I don't remember exactly. We spoke about then. It depends on what's the Isur Meloche before Avdoleh. Briskarov wants dependent on the Machloket Soin. Lefi the Ran, he has Isurei Shabbos till he's going to do Avdoleh. When he don't know Meloche, that's it. He's not Mamshech the Dinei Shabbos on him. He cannot come and be Mavdil. That's what he said. Yeah, there's a Kovetz Shurim also in Ois Yud over here that comes and speaks about it. The Kovetz Shurim Beitza also over here. Okay. He says that Ravasi od Garten, Azoi the Mandoma, what we learned in our Psochim, yeah? Gemara Kuv Zayin, Psochim. What the Gemara says of them, Mishalo Yudil B'motzi Shabbos, Mavdil Kol Yoim, Obel, Vesuloi. It means it can be Mavdil only the first day. That means only on a Sunday it can be Mavdil. And not that. And that's why he didn't wait for Motzi Yom Tov Sheni, right? But we pass him Shtazoi. That's what he can come and be Mavdil even after Sunday. And that's why we are Mavdil in Motzi Yom Tov Sheni, like the Geras of the Ramah. Okay. So we're going a little bit into a different sugi. Zog the Gemara weiter. So it can't be that what? That Ravasi came and said that it's one Kedusha. If he said it's one Kedusha, why does he do that? Why does he make Avdoleh between the 2 days? Right? He was Mavdi Miyoyim Tov Lechavrei. And for the Gemara, Ravasi Sifuke Mesapkele. Ravasi had a suffix, if what Chacham came with Koiveh the second day of Yom Tov, is it Mitzad Be'emes, Emes Yom Tov? Oh, this is a minhag that the Bnei Agolus, Bnei Agoilo, they came and they were makpid on themselves to come and to do this type of Yom Tov, Mikoyach Sofek. It's Mikoyach Sofek, or it's now Mimele. And Rashi explained that Ravasi had the Sofek if they had a Takone Yom Tov Sheni Mitzad the Sofek, and Mitzad the Takone it's like a Yoime Arichte, or they were makmir themselves because they were Sofek Bekin. Or they didn't have a suffix, and Yom Tov Sheni is Mamesh Choil. And it's like Rav says, just what? They continue to do it because the minhag of Aviseni B'Yodeinu, that was the suffix. Says the Gemara. Ve'ovid hochel lechumre ve'ochel lechumre. And therefore, because he had the suffix, So he was machmir the Sofek. He done both. He did it as a kedusha achas, and he came. Mitzad echod, he kept also the second day, and mitzad sheni also he kept to do havdalah in between the 2 days. Says the Gemara. No, who's right? Rabba Ravasi. Rabba Ravasi. Look the Gemara. Omar Abzeire. Kavosei the Ravasi mistabre. Kavosei the Ravasi mistabre. Why? That's what? That again, that we're talking about the Beitza Shenolder Bezeh, Asura Bezeh. Why? Because Chacham came with Koivea, the 2 Yomim Toivim, of we said of the Shnei Yomim Toivim Shel Golios, and they did it as one long Kedusha. What's the Raya? Dr. Azay. The Oidne, Yadinem Bekvir Yachan. We know today what is Yom Tov, no question. Vekoavdine Treyoime, we do over there 2 different days. So what's mashma? That is Takone, it's a proper Takone, and 2 days, it's one Kedusha. Omar Abaye, no. Kavosei the Ram Mistabre. That what? That the 2 days are not the one Kedusha. Why? Because we're doing it only misopik, and one of them is definitely a weekday. And Mimonavshach, the Beitza is going to be mutar. And what's the Raya? That Nan, we learned in the Mishnah and Rosh Hashanah. But we show you know you must see Masuis. That means in the beginning, out of Mekadesh the Chodesh, they would go on the top of the mountains and they would put over there bonfires. And the comment to announce that Bezdin was Mekadesh the Chodesh. Why? To come and end that. Or Mishekilkulu Akusim. And they lit Masui Stam when Bezdin will not Mekadesh Stam to come to make a mistake. The people should have a mistake. Iskinu sheyehu shluchin yotzim to come and announce everywhere when is Yom Tov, when is Rosh Chodesh. And a place that they came till Tesvav LaChodesh, no, so they done only 1 day of Yom Tov. Why? Because before, but in a place that the shluchim cannot come in the first 14, 15 days, they did misafek. They did 2 days of Yom Tov misafek. Says the Gemara. The ilu botli. Now, what's mashaf in this Mishnah? If they came and the kusim are not in the world anymore, ilu botlu kusim. Abdin and Chad Yoime, right? By coming and going back to the Masois. Veiche the Motu, where who came? The Shluchim, right? What do we do over there? Only 1 day, Abdin and Chad Yoime. So what's the Muchach over here? The Takona Sachomim was not that they should do everywhere in Yom Tov 2 days of 2 days of Yom Tov. Not everywhere in Yom Tov, because where? Only where there was the Kusim, and when there was the Kusim, and only where the Shluchim could not come in the first 15 days. But 1 day, when the Kusim is not going to be around, and when the Shluchim can come, so we say that what? It's going to be only 1 day. 1 day is Kodesh and 1 day is Chayil. That means this is like Rav that was Mati Beitza Mimonavshach. Right? Because definitely 1 day is Chayil. Says the Gemara. Ve'ashte. They are dinen b'kvir yachem. Right? Today, that we know by the Chishuv of the Molad Hillel, the Amoyre Hillel came was Matak in the Luach, we know. My time of the What's the reason? What's the reason we do today 2 Yom Tovim? So the Gemara Mishum the Sholchu Mitam. They sent over there Rav Lazar from Eretz Yisrael sent to Yeroy to Bavel. Hizaru beminag aviseichem beyodeichem to come to be noyeg 2 Yom Tovim shel Golios. Even though we are not Boki, even though we are Boki. Why? Because Zimnin de Gozush. Sometimes the Malchus, yeah, they're going to come and do all the Zeo Ishmad, not to learn Torah, and not to do right, also not to work on Soido evil. And they're going to come and do only 1 day of Yom Tov. Also, they're going to come to Kilkul. They might come and eat Chometz and Pesach because they're going to miss out of a Chodesh Mole, and they're going to start Pesach a day later. They eat Chometz and Pesach. Or they're going to add the Chodesh Choser, and that's why they're going to eat the last days of Pesach. They're going to eat already Chometz. They're going to start Pesach a day earlier. That's why Chacham was metaken to do 2 days of Yom Tov. 2 days of Yom Tov. Rashi says, Lefi Rashi, Lefi Rav, what we come and passing Lefi Rav, and even after they sent, right, Sholchum Bitam, that Izor b'minag aviseichem, the second day stays a week better or Yom Choil. Just what? Because we have the minag aviseinu b'yodeinu, and we do it only machmas minag, as is Masha from Rashi. And as I explains, Rabbi Elchanan and Kovetz Yurim, and Oish Yudalet over here in Beitza, the Kovetz Yurim, he explains, yes, that Chacham didn't do Bechal a takona of 2 days. Just what? They themselves, minag aviseinu, they were machmir on themselves to come to do noyeg 2 days. Aber in the Shittim Kubetes, as I learned in Rashi, the Shittim Kubetes is mashma nicht azay. He said that even lefi Rav, Chachomim, they were Mekadesh the Yom Tov Sheni. Again, they were Mekadesh B'Kedusha Sofik, not a proper Kedusha, yeah? And as I learned the Shittim Kubetzes, he learns it in Rashi. We have two avonas of in Rashi. Or is only a minhag avoseinu. Chachomim were not metaken b'chlal Yom Tov Sheni. They were machmir themselves, and we milim nemen on the minhag avoseinu. The Shittim Kubetzes learns that this was mitzad the takonas Chachomim. Chachomim was metaken to have over there 2 days of Yom Tov. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a Yom Choy Legamre. Yom Choy Legamre. Just why we do it because minhag avoseinu biyodei. Yeah. But again, this is a davona. The case of Misha, there's two different things. Yeah. Now, what about if we say that the whole reason to have 2 days of Yom Tov is because Gzeiras HaMalchus, Gzeiras Shema, they might come and do a Gzeira and then we're going to forget. And that Yisrael cannot come and be Gzeiras HaMalchus. Ken sein echet Gzeiras HaMalchus. There's a Ran. The Ran in Sukkah. The Ran in Sukkah in Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis, the Ran says that also in Yisrael, even though Shaykh Gzeras HaMalchus, we don't do 2 days of Yom Tov. Why not? Shaykh of the Gzeras HaMalchus. He says because they did the takone only somewhere from the beginning they done a takone. They made it, they didn't want to mivat the takone because different reasons. They can't even taken because Gzeras HaMalchus, we're not taking new takones because Gzeras HaMalchus. Once we have a takone of 2 days, we don't come and say, okay, let's cancel the takone. Now we're looking for different reasons, even as schwache reasons in a way. Once we have a takone, you say, okay, misbatlo a takone. You still look over there for different reasons of a takone. Yeah. But in Toisus and Tainis is mashma, there's 2 different takones. Yeah, everyone knows the Toisus beginning of Tainis is the base of a Dalef. Toisus says it's 2 different timings, says Toisus. First, Gzeras HaMalchus. Second one, also because minhag avoseinu biyodenu. Famous Toisus says, okay. Says the Gemara, yeah, there's the famous Rambam. Okay, we're gonna get it maybe in the end of the shir. We're gonna go back to the Shnei Tovim because it's also very important. Mamish, we're talking about now a month, Mamish Erev, a month that we have many 2 Yom Tovim. So Mata Hashem can speak about it maybe in a few minutes. Okay. Dog the Gemara, Itman. Shnei Yom Tovim shel Rosh Hashanah. Now, this everywhere, right? Everywhere, and this is not misafek. This is b'toiras vaday. Today are definitely one long kedusha. We call it a yom harichte, kedusha harichte. It's one long kedusha. Rav Shmuel, the Amot Avayu. What about noildo bezeh, asur bezeh? Who was born on the first day of Rosh Hashanah? It's going to be asur on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. What's the raya? What's the raya that 2 days of Rosh Hashanah is one long kedusha? That none. We learned over there Masechet Rosh Hashanah. In the end of Masechet Rosh Hashanah, the Lamed Amud Beis, we learned the Mishnah. That means the Eidus HaChodesh of Tishrei. Yeah, we're talking about Tishrei, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah, they will cover the whole day, all 30 days of Chodesh Elu. And if the Eidim would come, even Mamash a few minutes before the end of the day, that day became Chodesh. That means they're waiting the 30th day of Elul. Bezin are sitting and waiting for Eidim to come to say if there was they saw the renewal of the moon or not. They wait. Now, what if the Eidim come as an hour before the Shkia of the 30th day? What they say? This day, today, was Rosh Hashanah, Lemafreya. From the beginning of the day, there was a day of Rosh Hashanah. And therefore, we don't know. Maybe the Eidim are going to come and now before the Shkia. So therefore, even before the Eidim show up, they will not do any melacha. Because could be, if the Eidim show up an hour before the Shkia, Hura, Dovo, Lemafreya, the ganze Tag, you can't do a meloche. You didn't do a meloche. Why? Maybe Eidim will come, and then the day would miskadesh the mafreya. Now this suffix, we didn't know, is he Yom Tov today? Not a Rosh Hashanah. Yes, a Rosh Hashanah. Continued till the Shkia. Mamish till the Shkia. Right? So that's why, but then that time there were not actually the both days of Yom Tov as long one day. Because the first one was Kodesh Misafek, right? And the second day was actually Kodesh if the Eidim didn't show up. Yeah, if the Eidim, so let's just think about it. If the Eidim show up, so that day, the first day is Yom, the second day not. The second day not. If the Eidim did not show up, the first day was only Kodesh Misafek. They didn't do the Melachos only because they were scared maybe the Eidim were going to show up. The second day, right? The second day is Kodesh Huva Adovo, that the first day was Choy. That was Borishoino. That's the Mishnah over there, Borishoino. Borishoino, that was in the beginning. And Rashi explains over here that they were also b'melocha. Why? Because maybe tomorrow is going to be Kodesh, and Kumto is that this night was Yom Tov. Now, there's an interesting shaila. Why over here Rashi says that only Osur b'melocha? What about all of the dinim of Yom Tov? Sudas Yom Tov, Tfilas Yom Tov, Kiddush. There's also mitzvahs asay in Yom Tov. Not only Isur Melocha. As they reflect Rashi. Rashi is not over here. Rashi in Rosh Hashanah, the Yud Ches Samad Aleph. As they reflect Rashi. Rashi says that they would come and say in the beginning when Elul started. And the 30th day they would come and do Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because, as we know, Roy Shonim Ein Elul Me'uber. Elul B'derech Klal was only of, you know, right? Elul is always but today 29 days, and that's why they would come and do it on. Okay. That was in the beginning. What happened in then? Happened the story. Nishtaru Eidim Lavoi, above this time that they were the B'derech Klal came, and they came Mamish Azoi after the Zman of being Makri the Tomish Ben Arbaim. As we said before, in an hour before the Shkir. Every year, B'derech Klal, the Eidim would come much earlier, so they would have time. And what happened because of this? That means on a Tomish Ben Arbaim, there's a certain Shir. A certain Shir that you say, because the whole year round, right, as we just learned now in the end of Gemara, in the end of Masechet Sukkah, we learned over there, there's all kinds of, forgot about the Shir, okay. And at the end of Masechet Sukkah, we learned about, right, we learned every day what the Shir they done. And every day they would come the Eidim before, every year, they would come, every year, Rosh Hashanah, B'derech Klal, they would come before the Akrovas, Tomish Ben Arbaim, so they knew already. And the Tomish Ben Arbaim, they sing the song, right, what Shir they do over there in the Beis HaMikdash. They would say the Shir of Rosh Hashanah. One time, the Eidim came over there after, no, so they were sure that now today is the Yom Tov, when is going to be the Yom Tov tomorrow. So what type of Shir they said? A Shir Shal Choyle. Because they thought that the Eidim are going to come anymore. And suddenly, the Eidim show up. Now, what about Tomish Shachar? They were not scared about Tomish Shachar. I mean, Tomish Ben Arbaim, Tomish Shachar is also a problem. Musafim, Tomish Shachar. So Tomish Shachar actually, there was always Kavua to come to do a Shir Shel Choyle, even if the Eidim came beforehand. And they will also say why? Because B'derech Klal, most of the years, the Eidim would come after the Tomish Shachar. That's enough to come and say one Shir of Rosh Hashanah and a Tomid. That means if not in Tomish Shachar, say in Tomish Ben Arbaim. It's enough to say. And that's why that's not a kilkul. A kilkul is if you didn't say Bechlal Shir Shel Rosh Hashanah. If you say one Shir Shel Rosh Hashanah, if not Tomish Shachar, say the Tomish Ben Arbaim. That's not called a kilkul. Now the Mogen Avom, and this is what we spoke in the end of Masechet Sukkah. We spoke a little bit about the Shir Shel Yom. Again now. So the Mogen Avom in Kuf Lamed Beis, if Cotton Daled, Zok Dazoy. That it's Mashach over here that they would not come and say over there in Yom Tov, Stam Shir Shel Choyle. Just what? They would come and say Shir Shel Yom Tov, also by being Makir the Kol Tomi, not by the Musafim. Or in Rosh Hashanah, they want to metaken that the Tomish Shachar, you say a Shir Shel Choyle, right? Because most of the years. And as I said, the Minchas Chinuch continued base comes and says it, and many Achronim come and say this din thing. Now, what we mentioned last week from the Meiser Rav in the Kohen, that we don't say two Mizmorim in one day, right? And because that's what it means, that one day when we have two Musafim, for example, Yom Tov, Shechal B'Shabbos, but on the Tommy they always said a Shir Shel Choyle. And that's why the Ramah Mipano, there's many different things. Okay. So the Gemara weiter. Hiskinu. And therefore, because what happened this takon at one time, they were metaken, shelo yehu mekablin esoedim elo adam mincha. What is Zman HaMincha? Zman HaMincha is the time where they were makir the Tomish Ben Arbaim. So the 30th day of Elul, they were mekabel the Eidim, till when? Till the Mincha. That means. And this takon was, and when? Rosh Hashanah. Now, the Ra'or comes and learns some over here, very interesting thing, that this takona was not Dafka Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Hashanah, was every Rosh Chodesh. Every Rosh Chodesh, and they learned Teched the B'Yosef. Every Rosh Chodesh was this takona. Anaya takona, not to be mekabel the Eidim min Amincha Ulemalo. Ve'im bo Eidim min Amincha Ulemalo. If they showed up, they would come and be me'abed Chodesh Elu, And then when Mekadesh the day only when? Only the next day. But because they came and till when the Eidim came, till the Shas Mincha, when the Eidim came, they were knowing Kedusha. Yes, the Eidim can come any minute. Yeah, the Eidim can come any minute. Maybe the Eidim will come and then Mekadesh the day. So if they came till Zaman Mincha, now we know that the day was actually a Vada Yom Tov. But if it came to Zaman Mincha and they didn't come, so now we know that we definitely not going to be Mekabel Edim, even if they're going to come. Just what? We Mekadesh Hashanah tomorrow, right? Only tomorrow. But Apal Piken, they didn't, even if they didn't show up, they were not mezalzel in this day, and they still came and made a takone. They were not matir to come to do avodah this day, like a weekday. Why? Because as shekvar noagu, because they were noeg it a kedusha that day. Just what? Chachon came and they were metaken over there a takone. What was the takone? This is the Gemara. Noyagin, that was the takone. Noyagin, oisa ayoim kodesh vele mochol kodesh. That was a naya takone, and this takone was because the takone not to be mekabel the eidim in amincho lemalo, and they were matir meloche after minche, right? And if they were matir, what they would come and say the next year? They would come and say, we remember this day, last year we done the meloche, right? They don't remember we done the meloche 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and now it's only 1 o'clock. Says before the, and then people will come and say, oh, last year we came and waited the whole day. We didn't do meloche. I didn't go to work. I missed out. I had important meetings. I missed out. And then was Mechalat Yom Tov. I'm not keeping this year. I remember last year, I kept for nothing, and that's why Chacham made a takone, both days of Kodesh. And the takone of 2 days of Rosh Hashanah was a takone of Bezdin. It's not a suffix. Beforehand, when we spoke about Shnei Udesh Golios, it's a suffix. It's a chison yediyah, let's call it, yeah? It's a lack of knowledge. We don't know if the shluchim came, didn't come. It's a lack of knowledge. It's not exactly a suffix. Not a suffix. It is a suffix, right? We don't know. But over here, Bisman, the day when Mekadesh, we had a suffix. Over here in Rosh Hashanah, we never had the suffix. In the takona of the 2 days. They were metaken and miteras vaday that we don't come and do 2 days of, we do 2 days of Yom. Says the Gemara. Oh, and Mimele, let's go back to our Gemara, what we big out. Therefore, Beitza Shenlo Bezu, Asur Bezu, even if it was born on the first day, it will be also in the second day because Misafek, both of the days are Kadosh, and it's not a Monashah. You can't say we Monashah. Omar Rabbe. Omar Rabbe. Mitakonas Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai Veilach. From the times of the Takona of Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai, Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai came and said, and thing, and Mamish has a thing from the words of Rashi over here. What we just came and said from Rashi, the Sharamelech and the end of Ilchos Eruvin is Medayek, that if the Eidim didn't come the whole day, so it was not Nechshav the 2 Yom Tovim is 1 Kedusha. Why? Because Rashi says over here, in bo Eidim in Amincha. That's what Rashi says. In bo Eidim achar Amincha lo yimezalzelinem bei. Ki choik chachomim. That's what Rashi says over here. Ki choik chachomim. And Rashi in the middle of the Devar Maschil over here, it's Kagolavim. Ad Amincha. Right? Let's see Rashi inside. Ad Amincha, look Rashi. Ad akrobas tomit sheben arbaim. Aval echa mikan oiso yayoim. הרי הוא מעובר מוינים ביום המחוס להם הכפול סוכס ואם בואו עדים מן המנחו למעלה אף על פי שאין מוינים למוינס והיום לא מזלזינן בי 30 לא גויר ולא יסוי באיסורי אשר הוא זרו עד המנחו ממלוכו כן לא יגין גויר ולא יסוי בקדושוסי אלמה תחיל לעשי שניהם לראש השונה אפילו בבזדין אבל בבזדין מתקן ולא מסופק שהריבד היום שיום דלמוכו ואף על פי כן תקנו לעשוי ישמע מינו חוי חכום ומצוסון לעשוי סם בבואו עדים אחר מנחו חויקים יש אני לעשות בכל שונה שמא יבואו עדים אחר מנחו הרי קדושה עשו יחס, ואין כאן לא יאמר מימון אשר אחד מן היכול לשמו, אין כאן חול, אלא שניהם קודש. That means, he comes over here, and he's Vedak Rashi, that Rashi says, if the Eidim came after Mincha, we're not mezalzel. Because what? It's a choik chachomim, it's a takonas bezdin, to come and to do it for 2 days, right, when they come after Mincha. That means when the Eidim come, after Mincha, so then we say it's Kedusha Achas. But what if the Eidim didn't come Bechlal? So only the 31st day, right? Only Yom Lamed Aleph is going to be really called. The Takona to do 2 days was only when the Eidim came in the first day. As I saw, the Sharamelech and die. And as I learned the Rivash, why I'm bringing it away? First of all, no, yeah, why? The Rivash and Tshuva brings a Tov Kupei, brings a very interesting thing. He says that's the reason that we say Shechianu, also the second day of Rosh Hashanah. Right? The poskim are very, very busy with this. Oh, you say, and you bring a new fruit, and you bring a new this, right? We koif, and it does a new beged, and you mechaven on this, and many, many solutions how to figure out the second day, right? Some buy a pomegranate, and they don't eat the simon in the first night, only the second night, right? Some do this. I saw many different people do many different things. Well, wo kommt das? Wo kommt das? Even the kedusha achas was when shechionu, right? It's always that's the shadow of the poskim has, because we pass that it's kedusha achas. Why do we make a shechionu the second night of Rosh Hashanah? Says the Rivash, and that's the deal from this Rashi. Because the Iga Takone to come to do it was only about 80 minamin cholemalo, then it's a kedusha achas. Because be'etzem the Eidim came today. That's why today was Kodesh. This what the Chachon was mevatel today's exception of the Eidim, and they accepted it tomorrow. But tomorrow is also Yom Tov. Then it's kedusha achas. Lefi them, says the Rivash, that's the reason we say Shechion was on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. And even though both of the days are Kedusha Achasim, because if the Eidim didn't come Bechlal in the first day, only in the second day, the second day is Kodesh, not the first day, and that's why you say Shechion B'fnei Atzmai. Okay. Zog the Gemara weiter. Omar Rabbi. Mit Takonas Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai ve'ilach, Beitza Muteres. So Gemara is going to be what's the machtek. That means a Beitza that was born in the first day of Rosh Hashanah is going to be muter in the second day of Rosh Hashanah. What's the takona? What's the takona of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai? Zog the Gemara. That's none. Misha Chora Beis Hamikdash, and there's no chashash anymore. Shemo Yiskalkelu Avim Bashir, right? There's no shir, there's no korban. No. The Avoneinu, there's no shir, there's no korban. Hiski Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, sheyehu mekablin eidus hachodesh kol hayoyim. That means we go back to the before the takone, and because Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai now was metaken, so we mevatel the takone to do it also vada kedusha in both days, because we don't need it anymore. Because kumtoy that again they're not going to do it in Bezdin 2 days. Now the people that live in a distance from Bezdin, they are anyway do be sofek the 30th day and the first day, right? I mean the 31st day, because Shemo Yavoy Eidim is in the end of the day is going to be Kashem Afreya, like they do like any 2 days of Yom Tov, because now they do the 2 days only misofek. So we back to the Mimonach Shach as 2 days of Yom Tov as we started the shir with, right? Rosh Hashanah, says the Gemara now after the Kon of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, it's both of them are the same thing, right? Well, the Mafreya, but we're going to come and says that it's the same thing. Omar le Abaye, Rav Shmuel. Rav Shmuel lived when? After the Churban. Yeah, after the Takone of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. The Amre Tarvayu, Beitza Asura. They both said that the Beitza that was born in the first day of Rosh Hashanah, it's Asur. Omar le Amin Elochano, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rav Shmuel. That means I'm telling you over here, my shita lefi Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is a Tane. He's a Tane. And you come and tell me you're who? Rav Shmuel, they are Moiroim. I mean, what's the Tushta? By the Gemara, no, say that so. Sie nicht gescheit Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, aber es ist gerecht. Es ist gerecht, es ist Rav Shmuel. Ula Rav Shmuel, Kashi must listen. Rav Shmuel, who came and said that the Beitza is Asur, if it was born in it was noilad in the first day of Rosh Hashanah, it's going to be also on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. This is the schwer. Because in the Mishnah is Mevur, that word that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was betaken to bring back the matzav earlier and before the takon. And then they were knowing that word that Rosh Hashanah was only 1 day, right? So when we come and keep Rosh Hashanah 2 days, it's only misofek. It's not a takon of adois. So the Beitza should be muta, mimonach shoch, is 2 yom tovim of golios. And not like Rabbi Shmuel. Says the Gemara, lo ikashye. Holon, that means people in Chutz Loretz, so the takone bleibt. We know 2 days in the takone because they never stopped it. They never stopped the takone to come. We know only 1 day, and that's why also Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai came and brought back the takone where in Eretz Yisrael, right before the Anogen, to be knowing only 1 day of Yom Tov of Rosh Hashanah, because we don't have to accept the Eidim. But by us, the Bnei Agoyla, it was left the takone beforehand, and it's one long kedusha, and it's not as a sofek as other Yom Tov Golios. And that's why Rav Shmuel said the Beitza Asura. Ve'olehu, that means Bnei Eretz Yisrael. when Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh comes and he went and he says, today is no anymore Niskalku Levim Bashir, so we back to the original Takone, right? So over there, Taka, you don't have to be knowing 2 days of Yom Tov, because if the Eidim came also after the Minche, you Mekadesh only 1 day, right? Only that day, and if they didn't come, they don't Mekadesh Bechlal. So the whole Anog on the first day was only Mikoyach Sofek, and that's why in Eretz Yisrael, if was born a Beitza in the first day of Rosh Hashanah, so it's going to be Mutter the second of Rosh Hashanah, because 1 day is only Misofek.
So
1 day is only Misofek.
So why in Eretz Yisrael did they keep two days around Rosh Hashanah then?
Misofek.
So then why
we do keep it. Misofek.
So then why wouldn't they keep any other Yom Tov for 2 days as well?
No, and the other days was no problem with Kilkul Avim Bashir. There's no Kilkul Avim Bashir. Only over here, because when is Rosh Hashanah is at the first day of the month. It's Shaykh over there, a mistake also in Rosh Hashanah in Eretz Yisrael. It was in the beginning Kilkul Avim Bashir. So when Taken what? When Taken both days Bevadai. King Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh said, there's no anymore Kilkul Avim Bashir. There's no anymore Beis Hamikdash. That's why he came and said, they still kept it Misofek. Because if the Eidim come, right? There's still Mekadesh Al Pi Ariyah at that time, yeah? The times of Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh was still Mekadesh Al Pi Ariyah. The Shaila still went till the times of Abaye, Rove, when they were Mekadesh Al Pi, when they stopped Mekadesh Al Pi Ariyah. But in the times of Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh, they definitely were Mekadesh Al Pi Ariyah. They still had the Sofek. It could be what Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh said. Even if they come 10 minutes before the Shkiyah, the day was Rosh Hashanah. Huh? Was the Yisrael Meloch, and that's exactly what Rashi says and what we mentioned before, Rashi and Tainis, yeah? We'll come into it in the second day. But Misofek, there were Noyeg over there, Misofek, not Mitzad Vada, only Mitzad Sofek.
Sorry, I still don't understand. So I still don't understand. So why on any other Yom Tov is it different? I still don't, because why?
When is it? What day of the month?
Later, in the middle of the month. Okay.
The problem is Shluchim. It's a Chison Yediyah. It's a Sofek.
The Shluchim, that's why. Because I haven't got enough time to get to Putzlars, the Shluchim.
Yeah, but here's the thing, yeah. Yeah, but the MS says it's a machlokes Rishonim if the maskana in the Gemara is Davke Alibe the Rabbe or also Lefi Rabbe Shmuel. Because the Rashi and Toises the chiluk between Bnei Eretz Yisrael and Bavel is that the Beitza is mutar by them because they do only 1 day. And for Bnei Chutzlot it's going to be Asura. Why? Because by then both of the days are Kedusha Achas because nothing changed from the minhag of Rabbi Yochanan Mezakeh. So he's just flagged because Rabbi Yossi says, right? Rabbi Yossi was after the Chum. And Afal Piken, what Rabbi Yossi says in the Gemara on Eiruvin, Daf Lamed Tes Amud Aleph, that the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah is one Kedusha. And Beitza Shanol Davar Yishayin, Asur of B'Sheni. So Toshi says a few things. Toshi says that Rabbi Yossi said his thing on the matter that was before the Chum. And there's enough Kamine. Bnei Bavel today. I mean, Bnei Goyla today. Lefi them. Okay. Log the Gemara weiter. When we come now, the Gemara brings 3 different Amiroim that disagree on Rabbe. 3 different Amiroim that disagree on Rabbe. Log the Gemara. Rav Yosef ורב יוסף אומר, אף מתקונס רבי יוחנן בזכאי ואילך, Beitza Asura. If they done 2 days, even in Eretz Yisrael, and even though in Bezdin. And why? Because they didn't do 2 days because Sofek, and they did Mitakonas Bezdin, Mitakonas Vada. The first day was weekday, Apple began. The second day will be also this Beitza. Why? My time. This is Gemara. Have a double that this thing is we see. So might have a double minyan. This Isu, what we came in the Takona, the Isu are coming in Asari in the Beitza in the second day, is because the Gzeire, they came, there was Noyeg in the time of the Beis Hamikdash to do 2 days of Kedusha and 1 Kedusha Bevadai. So this is a double Sheminyan. What that means, double Sheminyan? That means the Bezdin, they were Nimne, yeah? They were Metaken, and this is the Takonas Chacham. This is the Takonas Chacham. And Chol Dovo Shebeminyan, Tuchmin Acher Le'atiroi. That means you need a different Bezdin. And also, if you want to count and you don't need over there, you need a special Bezdin. And Bezdin would never, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai himself came with Metaken, but the Bezdin was never nimne to come to be matir the Beitza on the first day, on the second day of Yom Tov. And therefore, the Beitza is going to be also, even on the, after the Takon of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that's what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was Metaken and andere Takon. Rabbi Yochanan was not mevatel the issue. Rabbi Yochanan was Metaken and andere Takon. Because we don't have a problem in this Kakol of Mishir, you can be Mekabel Deilim the whole day also after Mina Mincha Lemal. Till the Shkir, you can be Mekabel Deilim. That's what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai done. He didn't come to mevatel Takon because you don't find over there a minui of best. Rashi over here brings the shaila of Abaye. Abaye number base brings the shaila because Bezdin did not come and say to Asa the Beitza. Only when they came and they spoke about Eidus HaChodesh. Not to be Mekabel after the Mincha, Eidus HaChodesh, right? Because they were matir the Kabbalah. Mimele, you're matir also the Beitza. That's what Rashi brings us. It's a shaila of Abaye and on base. That means if you're coming and telling me, yeah, that what is the takona? Takona they asa the beitza. So then you can't be matir it only al yedei a minui of a bezdin. But the way the takona was not. What the takona bisman abayis? Takona was not the mekabel eidim. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was metaken. Yes, the mekabel eidim. So mele all of the outcomes, the outcoming of this mekabel eidim in amin chol malo is mevatel mele the takona. Okay, so you can see it later. Look at the Gemara. Whether I know this idea that called Dovos or Minyan, you need a different minyan to be matir, even though in practice we don't have anymore the first takona, right? Even that the first takona was bottled. Where do we see it? Says the Gemara Zay. Nechsiv. Steht over there Apostle. Leich emoyoloim. Shuvu lochem lo leichem. Oima. Oimer. B'mshoich hayoy v'leimo yalu bo. How do we learn from these psukim? The Gemara is going to explain in a minute. Brings Yosef another raya. That's one raya. The Gemara is going to explain. The Gemara is going to elaborate in a minute this raya. Well, let's see another raya that we need a minyan achel atiroi. Tanan. There's a Mishnah in Meiser Sheni, Perekei Mishnah Beis. Steht das so. Kerem Ravai. Oy oyle l'Yerushalayim, malach yoymechod lechol tzad. Zu hi tchuma. Eilas min adorin, ve'akravas min atzofoin, lud min ha'marov, ve'yardem min ha'mizrach. עוד לפשט. Kerem Ravai is a period of the fourth year. Right? We have a cycle of Shemitah. Now Mamash is of Shemitah. And we have the cycle of Shemitah. The first year in Shnat Shemitah is Hefker, and then we start to count 6 years. So the first 3 years of a tree is Orle. So this doesn't have to do with the cycle of Shemitah, but some. First 3 years of a tree is Orle. What do you do after the fourth year? You can start to eat? Not yet. There is what's called Kerem Ravai. Kerem Ravai, everywhere, only in a Kerem. Remember from the Gemara in the beginning of Brochus, and the beginning of Ketz and Revolta. But the Gemara over there, right, we spoke about, so let's talk about Kerem Ravai. Kerem Ravai is the payros of fourth year after Orle. What do you have to do with it? Like very similar to Meiser Sheni. You have to maal it and to eat it after Yerushalayim, or like Meiser Sheni, you could redeem it, you could do the redemption, and with the money, to take the money and to spend it in Yerushalayim and to buy with the dafki food. Mamish has every Meiser Sheni. How was metaken that in order there should be a lot of payros in Yerushalayim, so the places around Yerushalayim they shouldn't be pointed the payros in money. Just what? They should come with the payros themselves into Yerushalayim. That was the metaken. And therefore, Chacham was metaken at Takone, Kerem Ravai. We talking about Kerem Ravai, yeah, is or your oil Yerushalayim. They come and take it to Yerushalayim everywhere around. Obel, Malach Yoymechon Lechol Tzad. That means you cannot come and do the pidyon there. And what's the tchum? What's the distance of the Malach Yoymechon Yerushalayim? Eilas min adoroim, akravas min atzofoin, lud min amar, v'yardim min al-zach. Eilas is not the Eilas what we know today. Eilas because that takes more than 1 day of walk to Yerushalayim. Yeah. Ve'omarule, says the Gemara. Ve'itei merav marachone omar Rabbi Yochanan. Ma ta'am? What's the takona that we're taking not to come and to do the redemption, not to be poide? The payro is just what to actually bring them to Yerushalayim. Kedei le'ater shuk Yerushalayim be'payros. I mean, there should be a lot of payros in Yerushalayim. And that's a noise, that's a nice, it's a beauty for Yerushalayim. Vetanya, we learned in the Braisa. Kerem Revai oyoloi leRab Lezer b'mizrach Lud. Betzad kfar Tovi. That means this is Mizrach Lud, as we said, Mina Mizrach was Lud. That means it's Malach Yoymechod of Yerushalayim, right? No, He's allowed to come and do poided. No, he's not allowed to be poided. What should he do with it? She can be malet to Yerushalayim. Let's see what he wanted to do. Zog the Gemara. Daf here with base. Ubikesh. Rablezer wanted to le'afkiroi le'anim because it was difficult for him to come to bring it up to Yerushalayim. To redeem it, he can't. So what he's going to do? He has a solution. Le'afkiroi le'anim. They should come and pick it, and they should come and they can have to take it to Yerushalayim. Yes, Rashi says, "She could do it. Ve'yalu Yerushalayim ve'yechlu shom she'oy olav teach la'lois peros." He didn't have a thing, so he says he's going to come and be mafkir to who? To the anim, and they're going to bring it up to Yerushalayim. Okay, says the Gemara. Now you could be mafkirat, you can't be mafkirat. It's a big shaila. It's his. Neta Reva is a moment govoya.
Why was it only to an oni? Why couldn't he be mafkirat to anybody? Why could he not be mafkirat to anybody? Why did it have to be just to an oni? Why couldn't it be to anyone?
The Ashir would not come and be matriach to schlep it up to Yerushalayim for a few fruit.
That's why. Okay.
The Ashir would not walk a whole day to eat the orange in Yerushalayim, right? He would just go to the shop, buy for 1 pound of orange and eat it.
Okay, it's fine. But if
Oni that doesn't have food, he will come and take it, and he will come and do anything. Yeah.
All right, but it could be to anyone to be master if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I think. But you're right. There is a Turayevin. There's a Turayevin in Rosh Hashanah, and Daf Lamed Aleph with base. The Turayevin says that Rablezer od Yad Beishamai, that Hefker Le'anim is Hefker. I mean, it's right. The Gemara over there, Rosh Hashanah. Remember the Machloek Beishamai Sila Hefker Le'anim is Hefker. Hefker Le'ashim no Hefker. But passes them before you learn because it's a Pasha Da'anim is a practical thing. But 1 second, the Kerem provides Moment Gavoya. How can you be mafkir? It's not yours. So the Mechaschinu says that he was mafkir, but it was still boisel. It's still not right. And then he does have a bailis on it. And that's why Rashi comes and it's Meduikos on Rashi. If you look at Rashi, what Rashi says, we read the Rashi inside. Yeah, the top Rashi. Shilketu him. That means he was mafkir already when it was. Yeah. Or maybe Lefida Turayevin is even more gishmak. Because Lefida Turayevin, Rablezer al Tazay Bishamai. That's what Efker Le'anim, Ave Efker. Bishamai, right? Rablezer, we know Rablezer Shemuti was Tamidei Bishamai. It's like it's a past. It may be al Tazay Bishamai. Bishamai al that's mom in Hediet. Bishamai al right? Yeah, after that, when they picked it, but maybe it was mafkir before. Okay. Amulay Talmido. Says the Gemara the Emshach of the Mice. What happened there? Amulay Talmido. Rebbe, that means they were mati kerem avai to be poidet, to redeem it, and to be male the money. Because why? Because today there's no ito Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is bechurbono. The ito not thing is the golis already, and there's no reason anymore to be me'ater shuka Yerushalayim, right? So there's no inyan of pidyon kerem avai, and you could come and be poidet, and you could yourself go oil to Yerushalayim and eat it. Because there's no Kedusha of Yerushalayim anymore. Yeah. Says the Gemara. Why? Because Rablezer got Kedusha Rishayna, Kedusha Rishayna, Kedusha Losid Lovay. Okay. Says the Gemara. Let's be medaik now. Let's be medaik already now. That's what Rashi says. Kosova, Kedusha Rishayna, Kedusha Rishayna, Kedusha Losid Lovay. That's how he wanted to be thing. But that's what the Sova of Rablezer. Anyway, let's be medaik. What the friends came and told him. Man chaverecho. Who was the friend of Rablezer? Well, they came and told him they were matir. It's who is it? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, that he was the Rebbe of Rablezer. Rablezer was a Talmid before the Chum. And when this mice happened already, he became great. It was after the Chum, right? And became a Talmid Chover of Rabbi Yochanan, right? And Rabbi Yosef is medayek. That's what he called him a Chover, right? Right? How he's called over there? He's called him a Chover. If he's called a Chover, so it was a Talmid Chover. This was actually after that, right? It's talking after the Chum. So it was already misbat the Takone. Now, time the Nimnu. What they tell Nimnu Alecha Chaverecho to be batted the Takone, not to be poide. Just want to be malet. You could be malet, and you're allowed to come and to be poide. Holoi Nimnu Loi. But if actually it was only a Takone without the Minui, even though what we don't have any more the time of Le'ader Shuk Yerushalayim. Even though we don't have any more the time of Le'ader Shuk Yerushalayim, we would still say that what is still existing the Takone, and we still have to come and to keep the Takone, not to be Male, not to come and to be Poide, the Peiro is outside Yerushalayim. So we see from over here that what? That with the Minui, yes, without the Minui, no. Says the Gemara, Mai ve'oimer. We saw that Rabbi Yosef bought another raya, right? Ve'oimer, V'mshoich ha'yoyvel, Eimo ya'alu bo. Well, how do we learn Bechal? What was the first raya? Right, so this is the second raya, beautiful, that we see from over here, that the minui could be mevatel, a different best thing. Without the minui, it cannot come and be mevatel. Now we had the first one, right? It says over there, shuvu lochem lo aleichem, right? Shuvu lo aleichem, and then we have over there another pasuk, ve'oimer b'msheich hayovel eimer yalu bo. The more comes to explain it, what's the Tosefes and what's the limud. Okay, koma. Michdi. Ksiv eyu nechoin mishloishes yomim al tikshu elisha. Right? Also b'tash mishamito, the 3 days before Matan Torah. And Oibazoi, after Matan Torah finished, there's no anymore the Isa, right? Moshe Rabbeinu tells them, Leichem or Elohim, Shuv Lochem Elohim. You're now, from now, you're allowed to be tashmish. Lomoli. Why do you need that? The whole Isa was, right, to prevent from Al-Tikshu Elisha was, in order to come with the Haret, the Maimed al Sinai. And this Maimed happened already, that's it. It happened already. Well, what do you want now? That's it. It's gone. Why you need a special oil? Shmamino. Right? Because this Hanoga, what Kavyochel himself came and said the heter, what he asked beforehand, we learned that what the Chachomi, that anything that the minyan, the minyan acher le atiroi. That's the first. Now, what's the voima? That you don't need the pasuk shuv lochem lo aleichem to be matir. Why? Because it's once it's bottle of time. You don't. There's no ma'amad al Sinai anymore. That's it. You don't need the heter. That's why. That's what. It just came and told them a commandment. The mitzvahs oino, the wives. He's talking about Toshema. I'm going to come and teach you from another pasuk. It says over there, when you're going to hear the tkiya shoifar, right, the long tkiya shoifar, then you're going to know that what the last tkiya, you know that what yalubo. That means from when there is a siluk shchina from the mountain, right, and then you're going to hear the long tkiya. From then you know that what you'll have a heter to go up to Al Sinai. Till then, there was a roeh not to go up to Al Sinai, right? I think so. So Mele, we see over here that you need that thing. Now, explain the Gemara how Rav Yosef learns out from this passage and called those of minions of minyan achalatir. Because the Chayre, it's shver. Let's see it in the Gemara. Michdi. Ksiv, when Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to accept the Luchas Shniyos, he's talking about the Luchas Shniyos. Gam atzoim ve'abokor al iru el mul orahu. What's Pashtus? What's Mashma? The comment to say, not to go up the mountain, only when it's Kodesh. But after there's no Kedusha, there's no Shechina on the mountain, you're allowed to go. And because the Shechina was on the mountain when it was given Luchas Hashonis, till when? Till when was the Shechina there? Till actually Hakomas HaMishkon. All of that time, there's an issue to go up on the mountain. The second Hayroah, the Heter, what says in Luchas Rishonos, B'msheich HaYovel, right? B'msheich HaYovel, Eimer Yalubo. B'msheich HaYovel, you're allowed to go up when they're allowed to go up when you hear the Tkiyah. Lomodi, why you need over there the Heter? Elamai, why you need the Heter? That's it, there's no Kedusha, that's it, there's no Shechina. Shmamino, Dovo Shebeminyan, Tzerch Minyan Acher Le'atiroi. And that's why it's not enough, the Pasuk El Mulo Ra'u. Because over there we only learn that water the Kedusha prevents going up on the mountain as long as the Kedusha exists. Or on the mountain. But there's no Hayroah over there, right? Before that what? That you could go up to the mountain. And you need over here a Mefurish Hayroah to be invited the previous Hayroah. That you're not to go up to the mountain. You're allowed to go up to the mountain, and that's why it's another Hayroah. You know, the Raisa you need the Osirmiya, you need another Osirmiya Latiroi. Or Rabba the Rabbanon Loi. Maybe you don't have to come to do a minui to be matir. And that's why Rabbi said, Toshema, Kerem Revai. That's a Kerem Revai, that's a Rabbanon. Veho, Kerem, now the Gemara is Medai. How we just think. Oh, Kerem Revai. That's what a blazer, right? He didn't want to be poided, and he gave it to Anim. Or Kerem Revai, the Rabbanon. The Kamrele, the Talmidim Rabaki, let told them, Kvanim, no Chavay. So what's Mashma? Only because the Minui you want to get, that's what we saw. And that's why a blazer can come and be poided. But without the Minui, he actually had to come and be Malid. Even though there is no anymore the Ta'am Atakon of Le'ater is Shukru Yerushalayim, because it's a Bechurban already. And that's why he says Rav Yosef, and that's why we asked the Beitza. Oh, now let's go back. Let's go back now to the Isur of Beitza and Rosh Hashanah. Now, Rav Yosef comes and says, a Beitza that came and was noilad the first day of Rosh Hashanah is going to be also the second day of Rosh Hashanah, even after the Takon of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said that what you can be Mekabel the Eidim Kol HaYom Kuloi. Why? That's what he says. V'chi teime, zog the Gemara, v'chi teime. Beitza nami imnu alo v'shirua. Maybe Taka will find them when there was a meaning of the Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai. Says the Gemara, no, you can't come say that. Ki imnu, when they were nimna with the Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai in the Bezdin, what they were nimna on? Eidus, the Eidus Achoides, that what? You're allowed to be Mekabel the Eidus Achoides from Minamin Cholemalo, even though before you're not allowed to. Or Beitza lo imnu. They were not matir over there. The Beitza, yeah, we mentioned before, right? In Medalef, we mentioned how Rabbi Yosef is going to answer the Steine of Abaye, right? Also the same thing on a Beitza. Yeah, so we're going to see it. So it says, Omar le Abaye, Otu, Beitza b'minyan mihave. This is the shayla what we mentioned before. Abaye. Abaye tells Rabbi Yosef, the Isser of Beitza in the beginning, when they were metaken not to be Mekabel Eidim in Amincha, and to be noig 2 Yomim Tovim, as we said, it's a one long Kedusha Vadois. It depends on the minion. Also, the Takonas Isser of the Beitza. Also, they never answer the Beitza in the minion. You don't need to be Matir the Beitza because you never answer the minion. Beitza Beidus, Talia Milza. The Isser of Eidus is also, the Isser of Beitza also happened because the Eidus, because they were metaken. It's a Kedusha Vadois. Why? Because the Eidus, Mekabel Min Amin Cholemalo. Me made the Beitza became also. The same reason that we come now in the Mevatel Day, that you Mevatel the Beitza. Itzar Eidus, Itzar Beitza. Ishtar Eidus, Ishtar Beitza. This is the same thing. That's the Shaila of Abaya. Rav Ade, Rav Shalman, Tarvayu, Ibei Kluchis. Amre, both they came from Beit Kluchis, and they said, Af mitakonas Rabbi Hanon ben Zakkai v'Eilach Beitza Asura. It's going to be awesome. My time. What's the reason? They say as Meiro Ibone Beis Hamikdash, and going to come back to Takone not to be Mekabel Eidus Min Amin Cholemalo. Why? Again, because Shelo Yiskalkelu Al Mashiach. Shusha Ben Arbai. And Mimela is going to have over there again. You're going to come back to when Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt. There's going to be again 2 Yom Tovim of Rosh Hashanah, Mi Tzad Vadai is going to be one Kedusha Arichta. And Mimela, the egg, right? This Beitza what we're talking about, Noel the Barishon is going to be also B'Shein. And that's the Chashash. The Meiro Yibone Beis Hamikdash. The people are going to say, Ishtakad, last year, Milo Yachalnu Beitza Beyond the Sheni, Ashtenam Neichul. But these people don't know, Velo Yade de Ishtakad Shtei Kedusha Yisein. And that's why it shouldn't happen this mistake. The Beitza continues to be also today is going to be awesome. If that's the chashash that what maybe as we said Ibone Beis Hamikdash, so Eidus Namen Noy Lekabel. Let's not be Mekabel Eidus on Reiyas HaChodesh. Why? Because my time, I can tell you, Meiro Ibone Beis Hamikdash. Ve'yom Ishtakad Miloi Kibalnu Eidus HaChodesh Kolayim Kulo Yash Namen Lekabel. Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai is coming and says, you can come and accept what? The Eidus after Minamin Cholemalo. 1 second, the next day is going to come, next year is going to come, and you can say, 1 second, I remember last year we Mekabel Eidus when 10 minutes before the Shkia, also this year. They're not going to have that last year was not Beis Hamikdash, this year is a Beis Hamikdash. We have to make sure that the Levim should be Miskalkel B'Shir, the Shir Shel Ben Arbai, L'chol HaPoch should be a Shir Shel Rosh Hashanah. Says the Gemara, okay, after what you made done, awesome. Eidus Mesura Bezi. Bezi don't make mistakes. They're not going to make a mistake. They know that the difference is Beis Kayom and Beis Hamikdash. Or Beitza Lakoil Mesura, and therefore the Beitza, because everyone comes and decides for himself, right? And there's a chashash. He's going to say, he's not going to make a difference. Last year was a Beis Hamikdash. This year, no Beis Hamikdash. Last year was not a Beis Hamikdash. This year is a Beis Hamikdash, and he might come to the days. The third Amoyre, what we said that the secret on Rabbi is. Rove, let's see just Rove Omar. Af mitakon asabechem bezaka ve'elach Beitza Asura. Yes, we had over here 3 different, right? Ravade, right? Rove, as we said before. No, Rove, let's see Rove. Abaye, Ravade, and Rove. Rove Omar, Af mitakon asabechem bezaka ve'elach Beitza Asura. Why? Mi lo imoide rabechem bezakai, sheimbo eidim min amin cholemalo. That means that the Mekabel, right? Lefi the takone, and they done that day. They done Rosh Hashanah. Shenag in Oisa Yom Kodesh. Ulama Chok Kodesh. That means Rabbi Yochanan was not mevatel takona. They should do 2 Yom Tovim. That anoge was an anoge vadai mitzad vadai. Guess what? Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai was not mevatel 2 Yom Tovim. Rabbi Yochanan Bezakai came and added that what you could also accept the edim. You could receive the edim also min amin cholemalo. Even though it's after the time of Tovim Shel Ben Arbaim, because there isn't a Tovim Shel Ben Arbaim, the Beis Hamikdash is Chorem, and there isn't a Tovim Shel Ben Arbaim, you could be Mekabel the thing. And They're going to start to count the Yom Kippur, Sukkot, when they start to count from the first day. But for sure that what they're not going to come, and for sure that they're not going to come and think. Now, Lefi Rashi, let's say this thing. Lefi Rashi, the Takona Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai helps that what they will kabel Eidim the whole day, right? The day that we start to count the Moyados. But we are not oiker the first Takona. If Eidim came only after the Mincha, we do 2 Yom Tovim. Also, both of them are Kodesh, we do just Vadai. Says the Nechoire. Nechoire is the Shail over here. What's the Zustel over here between the Takone, this Takone to the new Takone? Rashi and Amudalef explained to us, right? But we learned over there that what? That the second day is the Ikar Rosh Hashanah. Second day is the Ikar Rosh Hashanah, right? Just what? They were metaken to be Noeg Dusha. Also, the first day, why not to be Mezalzel? The first day. After the Takona Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, we say the first day is the Iker, and from this we start to count Yom Kippur and Sukkot. The second day is Noeg Dusha only because, as we said, Meiroi Bona Beis Hamikdash. So how could you come and say that what you're not Iker the first Takona? You're Iker the first Takona. The first Takona was the first day Yom Tov. The second Takona is the second day Yom Tov. And it comes out of an interesting nafkamina also. Why? Because the Shulchan Aruch passes in Tov Kuf Gimel, Sif Aleph, he passes that you're not allowed to cook or to bake from Yom Tov lechaveiroi ve'afilu b'shnei Yom Rosh Hashanah. So in 2 Yom Tovim, we understand that you're not allowed to cook or to bake from one Yom Tov to the next. Rosh Hashanah for was nicht. Rosh Hashanah is doch nicht errichtet. Frag them, as if they were going to wrong. We're going to frag, it's mashma that only to be machmir, right? That only to be machmir to do it like one kedusha, but not to be maker. The Goen writes that the Isser Bishul is only lefi the Raiva. But lefi the Rambam, you're allowed to come and the cook. Why? Because it's kedusha achas afilu lekula. The Bir Halacha brings that Yom Tov, first Yom Tov is for sure. That means the Yom Tov Rishon Rosh Hashanah. Tomorrow night, that's the Midoi Reise. And you cannot come and cook le tzorech Yom Tov Sheni from Yom Tov Rishon. Right? And he kind of said because also Choyel is mutar levash me'atayr, that's what you're going to be allowed to. Okay. But let's just finish over here the thing. Says the Gemara. Hilchas Kavosei the Rav, Be'anet Las, these 3 halachas, what Rav said in the Beitza Shanol the Biyom Tov. Bein lekule, bein lechumre, sai lekule, sai lechumre, and the Rif writes like the Maskon of our Suge, that what the Bnei Eretz Yisrael have to do, 2 Yom Tovim Rosh Hashanah, and we're going to speak about it. Why we're going to speak about it? We're just going to finish the Amid. Bein lekule, bein lechumre. What are they? What are the 3 things? Says the Gemara, Shabbos and Yom Tov, they are one next to the other. Right? As we learned yesterday. Beitza Shanol the Rishon, right? You're allowed to eat it b'sheni. Right? That's what we saw yesterday. Daled Amidalef. Yeah. Shabbos the Yom Tov Asmuchim Zelazeh. Rav said, Beitza Shanol the first one, you're not allowed to eat the second one. If it was born in Yom Tov was on Friday, it was born on Yom Tov, you're not allowed to eat the Shabbos. And Fakir Dechet, if it was born on Shabbos, you're not allowed to eat it on a Sunday. That's a Yom Tov. That's the first one. Second one is 2 Yom Goliath. Rav. This is what we started the shir today. That's Daled Amid Beis, yeah? Let's be Mesakim. Daled Amid Beis, what we saw today, Shnei Yom Tovim Shel Golios, what Rav was Matir. That's a Kula now. That's coming to a Kula. Rav was Matir, the Beitza that was born Berishon. The B'Shem, he called it to Miron Hashanah. Not Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, we talk about it. And the third one is 2 Yom Tovim of Rosh Hashanah. And Rav came and went to Chumre. That the Beitza should not the Berishon. You're not allowed to eat B'Sheni. Mamish, we finished the daf today. Today's daf. Fine. Let's go what we learned, Mamish. Okay, fine. So we finish the daf in Hashem tomorrow. What time is the shir? 8:45, I think. Yeah, I think so. We're going to have to, Hashem, we're going to check the Zmani for Rosh Hashanah and we're going to put it on the group. Yeah, Rebelli, I don't want to give you too much jobs. So, yeah. Probably on the Luach, we're going to check it out and we're going to think. When we're having a siyam? That's a good question. I don't know. You can see. You can do it next Sunday, yeah. Do it next Sunday. Sukkah, Mamish, as I found Sukkah, so you can do in the 4 days. We can see. The Rif Paskins, the Maskon of our Suge, he passed like what we just said now. The Rav, Aloch is like Rav, Sai lekule, Sai lechumra. Those are the Rif. And the Rif said that Shamin and Mehor, we see from our sugya that what the Bnei Yisrael have to do 2 Yom Tovim of Rosh Hashanah, and they have to do it at Takon Vadois. Rabbeinu Ephraim in the Balamoil, they come and they say, 1 second, today we're Bekim Be'ibura de Yarche, right? Kvir de Yarche. We're Bekim Be'kvir de Yarche. We know the Cheshbon Ibur, we know exactly. So Lichoire, Eretz Yisrael went back. It's called in Rosh Hashanah, it's called a Beis Avad, right? It's called back like a Beis Avad. And Bisman, when Eidim come before the Mincha, they don't have a suffix in the Kedusha Sayim. They should be knowing only 1 day of Rosh Hashanah. And Shah Yom Yitoy B'Masal. And as they stay in the Rabbeinu Ephraim, in the Balamoil, it's very interesting, in Rabbeinu Ephraim Balamoil, they say, Kach Noagu, Kol Adoyos Lefoneinu, that's what they being, Ad Shechadoshim Mikoroi Bo, Chachmi Provence, V'inhigu Latu Shnei Yom Yitoy Rosh Hashanah Lefi Da Sarif. They bring a big thing. It's a big discussion, right? Because the Derech I always wanted to speak about Rosh Hashanah, but the Derech when you speak Rosh Hashanah, they ask you to speak Drush. You can't speak Lambdas. I don't know. So, yes, no Chutzoret. In Eretz Yisrael, Rabbeinu Ephraim, Talmidim of the Rif, and the Balamoil, right? They come and say they're Talmidim of the Rif, and they come and they say that Michadosh Mikorov Bo, Sanai Ezach, Machnai Ezach, and they say always was in Eretz Yisrael, only 1 day, because today is Bekim Bekvir Deyach. There's only 1 day. They say Chachom Michadosh Mikorov Bo, Chachmi Provence, Chachmi Provence. They came and they were man. The Ramban in Milchamos, by us over here, Milchamos Hashem, the Ramban, he brings that the reason of Rabbeinu Ephraim to do in Eretz Yisrael only 1 day is because they never were metaken to do 2 days of Yom Tov. They were never, that means they were metaken, but they were never metaken as a Kedusha Harichte. That's what the Ramban explains in Milchamos. This was, they done it misofik. Maybe the Eidim when they come after the Mincha. And they were not Mekadesh the day only till when? Till the 31st day. But the day when there's no Sofik, we do 1 day. Right? And it was real Medayik beforehand, right? And Rashi, no Medalef, Rashi mitakonas. If you look at Rashi in Medalef, mitakonas abrichonon bezakai, she'echzir adover leyoishto lekabel eduson, kol hayoyim lekadesh hayoyim, denisa shebezin oisi shnei yoyim, v'archoikin oisi shnei yoyim, אין לו מסופת, שאין יודעים אם נסקדש ביום 31. הרי כשהיום זה של כל יויס, הוא בית שנות בזה, מותרת בזה, ממה נחשב, אחד מן היכול. Rashi also understood the same thing. The only reason why he done it then was only misofek. Right? That's what Rashi understood then. They only done it misofek. And that's why he says the Rif came and our sugya, we said before that we're talking all of the places they should do 2 days, they should have only 1 Kedusha. And because it's only, even though Mekadesh the 30th day when the Eidim came after the Mincha, well, there were no, it's not because the Sofek. Maybe they didn't come, they were Mekadesh the first one. That's what Rove came and said, that what they were left with the first Takone to do it 1 long Kedusha. And as they, we pass in Halacha, as they bring the Raivet and Tmim Deim, and as they, the Mogen Avrom of Tzadik Zayin bring. And the Goen over there says that the Takone, they were Mekadesh Bevadai, Mipnei HaSofek. Let me just say. Even though, let's say, Be'emes, the Eidim came before the Mincha. The rest of the Eretz Yisrael, they will do 2 Yom Tovim. Why? 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, like 1 Kedusha. And that's why he says, could be, we do in Eretz Yisrael also 2 days, because they didn't do it because they didn't know. Just what? Because they didn't come. And also because today, they didn't come today, and if the Eidim don't come today, they're going to do it tomorrow. And that's why we come and say that they did it 2 days of Yom Tov also in Eretz Yisrael. Again, there's a Rashba to explain how exactly it works. Oh, well, yeah, that's Legabe, the Rosh Hashanah, as we said over here, Legabe this. Yeah. Any question before we go right now? Okay. So let's talk a bit about, just 3-4 minutes, about as we start today, 2 Yom Tovim Golios. So we learned Itmar Shnei Yom Tovim Shel Golios. So we said about in the Gemara, Rav Omar Noil lo bezu muteres bezu, Ravasi Omar Noil lo bezu, Asur beze. Says the Gemara, Lei mekosova Ravasi Dusho Achasi. Right? So the Gemara, Ravasi Mavdil. Right? That's what the Gemara says, and Davdal Dom Beis, Ravasi Mavdil Miyoim Etova Lechavrei. Ravasi says the Gemara, Sipuke Mesapkele. ועובד אוכל לחומה, ואוכל לחומה. So when we talk about Yom Tov Sheni Shel Golios, the episode we have to start with the beginning. What the Bnei Chutz done 2 days of Yom Tov. When they done 2 days of Yom Tov, because they had a real suffix when was Yom Tov. They didn't know which day they were Mekadesh, the Chodesh, that day, Lamed or Lamed Aleph, the Shluchim did not come till 15 days till Yom Tov, and that's when we suffer they do Tezvov, right? And from Lamed, and Tezvov Yoim from Lamed Aleph. Now, when the Gemara is done over here together of the 2 days of Yom Tov, right? If it's 1 Kedusha or 2 Kedushas, the Firav, it's 2 Kedushas. Doesn't mean that the 2 days of Kodesh, just what? Not 2 Kedushas, the 2 days of Kodesh, just what? 1 day is Kodesh, the other day is Choil. Yeah, we have a suffix which one is Kodesh, which one is Choil. When we say Shtei Kedusha, it doesn't mean that both days are Kodesh. 1 day is Kodesh and 1 day is Choil. Yeah, as I stated before, it's the Gemara in right, the Mishnah. The Mishnah and what we learned also before in the Gimel. The Mishnah and Eirovili, right? That you could come and do a Tanai on the Eirov. Why you could do it on the Eirov? If the day is Kodesh, then the thing. Now, this Manazeh, even that we are Beki'im Bekvir de Yalche, and we know the Be'em is the first day is Yom Tov and the second day is Chol, we do 2 Yom Tovim. Why? Because the Ravasi that we said Kedusha Achas, no, Chacham Mutaken Takone to do 2 days Kedusha Achas, and that's why now, even though we do 2 days, because as we said, Takon Chachamim is that the Chutz La'aretz should be 2 days Yom Tov Bevadai. But the Virav, it's not 2 Kedushas from the beginning. It was only 1 Kedusha. So the Choyer Bisman has that the Verboki. We don't have a suffix. What's the reason we do 2 days? And for the Gemara, Minadin, it's enough, Take 1 day. Just what? Sholchum mitam, Yizoharu, Beminag, Avoiseichem, right? Because Gzeir Hashmad and the Choyer. What's the Nafkamina? Nafkamina is if 2 days of Golios is 1 or 2 days. The Gemara says about Beitza Shenol Daviontav, right? That's what Nafkamina is going to be. If the first day is going to be Mutar on the second day, Lefi Ravasi, it's Kedusha Achas, it's going to be also. Lefi, another Nafkamina is going to be the Gabi Davdole, Motzi Yom Tov Rishon, right? Lefi the Mandoma, it's 2 Kedushas, is going to be, you have to do, 2 Kedushas, you have to do Avdole. And Lefi the Mandoma that says that this is 1 Kedusha, you don't do over there Avdole. That's what the Gemara frek. Avdole, I'm not going to be the Avdole, is thing. And this get the chiyuv of minag aviseinu biyodeinu. This is machlokes Rishonim. Why? Tosis and Sukkah and Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis. Tosis comes and says over there about if we make a bracha on a minag. Remember, make a bracha on a minag, or we don't make a bracha on a minag. Over there we spoke about chavitas ha'arova. Not so long ago we learned it, right? Tosis speaks about also over there we spoke chavitas ha'arova, but Tosis speaks about halal and Rosh Chodesh. It's also a minag if we do or not. So Tosis comes and proves over here. Today we make a bracha in Yom Tov Sheni. And because we make a bracha on Yom Tov Sheni, even though it's only a minhag, Raya as well, so we make a bracha of a minhag. That's one of the rayas of Tosis. The Ran says no. The Ran is doichet. He says no, you can't be medame bechlal the din of Yom Tov Shel Golios is the halal. Why? Halal is only a minhag, but Yom Tov Shel Golios is because the minhag the Chacham was attacking a ganze takona. It's very differently. Halal is a minhag. It does. It's not a minhag. The Yom Tov Shel Golios is a minhag, but because the minhag Chacham was metaken a takona gemura. Because we said the minhag, but because the minhag, right? So the Ran says what? Because this is a minhag, so you do a hekesh. What minhag? You use the lashon of minhag because the minhag we were metaken it, but be'emes nishka minhag today. It's a takona gemura. At what? As we said, sholchu mitam izaru beminhag avoseichem. What does the sholchu mitam? What they send from Eretz Yisrael? Izaru, we passing you halacha. We don't tell you keep the minhag. We're telling you Izaru b'minhag avoseichem. This minhag is now a gzeire. Also you versteht the Ran. That's what it's takone kavur now that they told them Izaru b'minhag avoseichem. That's what because of chash of kilkul, as we said, that is the thing. So that's the machlokes the Ran and the Tosis the Gabe and them. We know very interesting shaila. Wir wissen doch Sofek Muktzah is also. And why? Why Sofek Muktzah is also? So he mentioned many things. Aber Pashas we pass because it's a double shesh l'matir, as we spoke yesterday, Daf Daled, right, Amud Aleph. And as I state in the Ran over here, Masechet Beitza, in Daf Chov Daled Amud Beis, b'shem Reb Osher Milunil. Reb Osher Milunil, he brings the Ran that it's Sofek Muktzeh ve'Yom is going to be also why to the Dor Sheish Materim. What about the Sofek Muktzeh and Yom Tov Sheni? Bring the Ran over there. Sofek Muktzeh and Yom Tov Sheni is going to be Mutar. As they bring the b'shem Reb Osher Milunil. Why? So says the Ran, the reason is because Yom Tov Sheni, it's a Sofek Yom Tov. Mimele we matter because it's Sofek Muktzeh and because it's Sfek Sveike. Maybe it's no Yom Tov, and I feel it does Yom Tov, maybe it's Nishka Muktzeh. Sfek Sveike is Mutar, even when Yesh Lo Matirim. We bring it La'alocha, yeah? This is Bordan and Shechonor, Simet Tov Tzadik Zayin, Seif Daled. Oh, the Noise Kalim, that's Bordan and Shechonor. Ober, we have to mention it again, we don't pass La'alocha, yeah? We don't think, we just bring the Ikra Dvor. The Noise Kalim of down the Shechonor come and say that there is a big machloikas over there on this din. What's the reason? What's the reason to be machloikas? So the Shechonor Rav Zok Tazoi. Sfek is also the double Sheish Materim. Also the double Sheish Materim. You could come and say, there's a tzad. Right? There's a tzad ve'isot, techlenu be'eter. There's a tzad, that what? That it's exactly, and that's what it's going to be. Over the Mishabure, over there, says in Sifkot Yudalev, he said that the reason is that he says there is Take disagree, and he says that what? Ledidan, that what Yom Shev Sheni is not mitzad sofek. It's we know when is weekday and when is this. Just why we make it. You're not going to say to be ordained. So it's the Yontev Vaday. It's Yontev Vaday with the Rabbanon. There's no sofek. He made it's only one sofek. It's going to be also. It's always going to be one sofek. It's going to be also, and that's why you want to pass that there's no sfek of it. So even a sofek muktzeh is going to be also in Yom Tov Sheni. Again, depends on the Rambam or not. Yeah.
Who said that? Who said it not? Who said this, please? Who was it?
The Mishnah Berurah. We're going to check what he said, the quarter two, I think. Yeah. I think the quarter two tomorrow.
And we have to do have told us the Dorim tomorrow morning as well. Will that take longer for doubling?
I think so. Sorry?
It might be a bit longer tomorrow morning from davening because they have to stay after shul.
Yeah, she says the slicha starts earlier.
All right. Okay. So we'll make it.
Long slichas, yeah.
Hopefully we'll have enough time. Okay. Get that.
Not sure. Whoever's on the door, we're gonna check it. Okay, I can tell Rebelli to put it on the group. When is it? Yeah.
Just say Bli Neder.
Bli Neder, exactly. So be after the Atos and Dorim.
Yeah.
Good.
Stop by 10
Good.
I called.
Go ahead.